Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
To the day's other news now, and if you missed out on the first 2 rounds of travel vouchers last year, you could now be third time lucky. As the state's tourism industry struggles with border closures, the $7.5 million scheme will encourage Tasmanians to once again holiday at home.
A welcome announcement in front of a very receptive crowd. The Premier using his address at the State Liberal Council to unveil the return of a popular initiative.
I'm announcing that we're going to introduce another round of the very successful travel voucher program that we ran last year to once again encourage Tasmanians to get around the state.
The $7.5 million scheme encouraging Tasmanians to once again holiday at home.
The COVID lockdowns in New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia are having an immediate impact on our tourism and hospitality industry.
Expected to be released in the next fortnight, but this time around applications will be made through a lottery system.
There are a lot of the vouchers not redeemed and people were upset that they genuinely wanted to go on holidays, needed a little bit of support and were unable to do it. Welcome news for tourism operators impacted by the border closures.
I guess the last sort of 6 months good work and trying to rebuild ourselves has sort of fallen on its head a bit.
But some are concerned they won't stretch far enough, calling for further relief.
It's going to take a lot more than that to really sort of kick ourselves through to summer.
It's expected the vouchers will be valid until the 24th of September.
Which is the date that the school holidays begin.
The Prime Minister zooming in to make an appearance at the Council.
It's pretty chilly here in Canberra and I'm outside, so I won't detain you too long, I hope.
Congratulating the Premier on his recent election win, hoping for his own in the coming year. With the federal election approaching quickly, the Liberal Party already has its sights fixed firmly on winning the seat of Lyons from Labor.
Tasmania will play such an important role in the next election.
Also giving a much-needed boost to Erica Betts, who recently received a major demotion to last place on the Senate ticket.
We need to win those 3 seats in the Senate there in Tasmania, and no one is more deserving of that term than Senator Erica Betts.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
A handgun dating back to the 1800s was one of 8 firearms surrendered as part of an amnesty in Huonville today. The ongoing joint operation between police and Crime Stoppers encourages people to hand in unwanted or illegal firearms without fear of prosecution.
The benefit of that to the community means that we don't have firearms potentially that could be picked up whenever burglaries or something like that's committed on.
Yeah. Anyone with information about unlawful contraband in the community should contact police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. East Coast motorists can expect further delays along the Tasman Highway while works get underway to replace stormwater culverts at Paradise Gorge. Both sections of road will remain open between 5:30 p.m. and 6 o'clock in the morning with a reduced speed limit. Only one lane will be open during working hours through the week. The Department of State Growth expects the road will be fully reopened by mid-August. A group of Samoan seasonal workers has captured hearts around the world with their uplifting and soothing melodies. Today, after 2 weeks of hotel quarantine, they bid farewell to Tasmania to embark on farm work interstate.
5,000 kilometres away, songs from the motherland. Coming together at Hobart Airport before flying out to Victoria this afternoon. The group of around 150 Samoans completed 2 weeks of quarantine and are off to work on farms.
3 years from our parents, away from our parents, friends and family is not that easy.
Arriving in Australia it's a miracle, you know. It's really big a miracle for all of us.
They first gained attention earlier this week singing songs from their hotel balconies.
When I find out from my 9-year-old son that there's Samoans in here in Hobart, I thought I have to do something as a pastor to go out and pray for them and just bless them, and yeah, that's how that video came out.
Uplifting people across the world during a very dark time.
That's a Samoan way, it's a unique way.
We're going through the pandemic right now and what's going around in Australia. It's amazing to be able to put a bit of smile on people's faces.
Farmers here say they rely heavily on the Pacific Islander workforce during the fruit picking season.
I see that as the only future for Australian agriculture going forward. We'll just come down to the political side that will actually have a real effect on how we get labour here on our farm.
The seasonal worker program is easily the best access to seasonal workers that we have.
Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
North Launceston has survived a big scare at North Hobart Oval. The Bombers came back from nearly 5 goals down to fend off the Demons. A classic at Lauderdale, Sam Siggins booting the match winner to beat the Tigers by 2. And Clarence kept Glenorchy scoreless in the final term to race away to a 25-point win. The KG5 pressure cooker was steaming as the Roos had the Pies chasing their tail. In front of goal, Sam Green completed the chain across centre-half forward with a stab through the middle. And although counter-attacks were smothered, Clarence still had precious little time to spare against a Glenorchy baying for blood. Glenorchy's resolve was rewarded as Adam Roberts spun and snapped his way to the bullseye. And that trademark black and white heat never let up. Look at the chase from Callan Daly. The bruising contest had its casualties, and though the Pies tried to tell the Roos where to go, Clarence finished 25 points up when it mattered at the siren. A rejuvenated Lauderdale went about taking down the Tigers on the eastern shore, and the side's stunning resurgence continues unabated. The Southern Bombers with 2 wins in as many weeks, bringing them to 4 for the season. And North Hobart had onlookers shocked, racing to a 27-point lead at the main break against the powerhouse of the past decade. But North Launceston taught the young side a cruel lesson, crushing the rebellion with a 63-point turnaround. The Bombers went ballistic in front of the sticks in the second half, blowing North Hobart out of the water. The final margin, 36 points. In State League Netball overnight, Arrows edged out Kingston by 9 points, while Cripps Waratah thrashed Karana 64-11. Today at the Silverdome, Cavaliers shot the first 9 goals of the game against Devon, and the result was never in doubt. Forward entries were on a production line for the Cavs, netting 72 goals to just 31 at the final whistle. Cavs are now tied with the Northern Hawks at the top of the table with 13 wins each. Riverside threatened to cause a boil-over in the NPL, slotting the first goal past Launceston City in the opening 5 minutes. The game was all square at 2-2 in the closing stages before a penalty sealed the win for City on the brink of extra time. It's Launceston's 5th victory this season. Riverside remains winless.
Good evening everyone. Rain across most of the state today with Launceston and Hobart reaching 13 degrees and 12 in Burnie and Devonport. Friendly Beach is the state's top of 16 degrees, the islands, St Helens and Ouse all 13, 12 in Strawn and Low Head and Lyowini just 4. An extensive area of cloud can be seen over the state today associated with a cold front, while another frontal band approaches from the west. Further out, areas of cloud cover the southeast of the mainland and parts of Western Australia, while most of the remainder is cloud-free. Tomorrow's chart shows a trough crossing Tasmania as an associated low passes near the south of the state. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow 20 to 30 knots, reaching 35 to 45 knots about the west and north, and swells reaching up to 7 metres in the west. And multiple warnings tonight, a severe weather warning for abnormally high tides for western, southern and lower eastern coastal waters, a gale warning for all coastal waters and a strong wind warning for all southeast inshore waters and the Central Plateau. A minor flood warning is current for the North Esk River, a road weather alert for snow-covered roads in parts of the western half of the state, a bushwalkers alert for the western and Central Plateau districts and a warning to sheep graziers for all districts. 9 degrees in Hobart tomorrow, Richmond a top of 10, showers and 7 in Ouse. Launceston and Devonport both 10, Deloraine reaching 8. Showers and 9 in Burnie tomorrow, 10 degrees in Strawn, Curry 11. And in the east some showers there with St Helens, Swansea and Whitemark all 11. On Monday, showers about the west and northeast with snowfall to around 700 metres. Showers about the northwest and central areas on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, showers about the north and west. 19 in Perth tomorrow, Adelaide showers and 15, 21 in Brisbane and Darwin 31. And it's currently partly cloudy across the state with Hobart and Devonport 8 and 7 degrees in Launceston. And stay safe everyone, we've got some rough weather ahead. Lou?
We certainly do. Thanks for that, Chelsea.